So I'm thinking about how the internet is essentially a brain for the entire Earth. So the Earth has its own brain in the shape of the internet. And that means that the Earth is an entity in its own right, essentially. So basically the Earth is alive. Now I realize how insane this sounds, but I believe the construction of the internet on the Earth creates the necessary elements for a life form, for an intelligent being, because it's similar in construction to the human brain in the human body. It's the same thing, internet on the Earth. It seems like the same construction, and the people on the Earth function as neurons, and they're interconnected via the internet in the same way as the brain is. So I'm very much bowled over by this idea, and I do believe it's the case that this is what is the situation. What I'm wondering is a human being takes a number of years before a human becomes useful in its thinking, mature enough. So a baby grows up and the human brain begins to function usefully when when the child is, I don't know how well to define usefulness, let's say 10. So it's 10 years before a baby develops enough such that the brain has become useful. But 10 years is very limited. 20 years is probably a better age to say that the brain and the mind has developed well to be useful in the world. And what I'm wondering is, I don't know how the complexity of the Earth's brain in the shape of humanity, I don't know how that relates to the complexity of a normal human brain in terms of the number of neurons or whatever. I don't know how many neurons it takes to construct a brain. I don't know if there are enough neurons for the Earth to have its own useful brain. I'm not sure if the brain is of sufficient complexity to be very useful. So it's hard to know how capable the Earth will be as an entity. So I need to do some research to understand the number of neurons that humans have. I'm wondering if one might be really high, like on the order of 50 billion or something. And I'm wondering how many humans were on Earth. I don't know how many billions. Maybe it's 10 billion or something like that. So in other words, the human brain will be quite limited compared to a normal human brain. So the Earth's brain will be limited compared to a human brain. But it will still be conscious, it will still be capable of having its own thoughts, own ideas, I'd imagine. I just don't know if the the Earth's brain is developed enough. Because the human brain takes 10, 20 years to become useful. So how long have we had the internet? I think maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years or something like that. Maybe 10 years, I don't know. But the point is that the Earth's brain is very young and underdeveloped. So it'll be a number of years before the Earth's brain develops enough to be useful, I'd imagine. And I don't know if there are enough humans to function as neurons for the brain to be particularly powerful. So it's hard to know how capable the Earth will be. I need to understand how many human beings are on Earth. And that will give me an idea of how capable the brain for the Earth will be. But I imagine, just off the top of my head, that the Earth brain will be quite limited in operation. But I still think it will be a brain. The question is it sufficiently powerful to make the brain, to make the Earth conscious? So it's a strange thought, but and there are many questions obviously.